All right, this is just a quick video on solving systems by substitution if you need a little refresher. So here are the steps, just to reiterate. The first thing we have to make sure is that both equations are in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, meaning that we have to make sure they're solved for y. If they're not, we have to solve for y. The second step, we are going to set mx plus b equal to mx plus b. So equation 1, we're going to take mx plus b, we're going to set it equal to equation 2 mx plus b, and then we solve for x. Okay, so the variables on both sides, that whole trick right there. Next, we plug in our x to our original equation. The reason we do the original equation is because when we solve for y, if you made an error solving for y, you're going to get an incorrect y as your value. So we just want to make sure we take it back to the original equation. You can pick either one, and then we solve for y. When you're done, you write your answers as an ordered pair, just like that, x comma y. Now, most of you are going to ignore this, but step 6, you're going to plug your x and your y, whatever you got in your ordered pair, into both your original equations, and then you can actually check your answer. If it doesn't work out in one of them, you know you got an incorrect answer. Okay, so that's that's the second to last step. The last step is celebrate accordingly when you finish, because it's a little bit of work. So whatever your go-to is, dabbing very quickly or flossing, whatever it may be. Yes, I'm getting on the older side. Okay, so let's talk about an example here. Just a quick example. We're going to solve the system by substitution. So our first step is we've got to make sure it's solved for y. Are they both solved for y? Nope. The top one is not. So I need to solve this one for y. So negative 8x plus 2y equals negative 2. And I'm going to go quick through this. You can watch my solving for y videos if you need a little bit of help. I'm going to move the x first by opposite operation. So plus 8x plus 8x. The minus 8x and plus 8x cancel. We're going to drop down a positive 2y just like that. The 8x and the negative 2 you cannot do because of not like terms. So I'm going to put the 8x first minus 2. Now, to get rid of the 2, we have to divide. It cancels. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So now I have to divide both terms by 2. So y equals 8x minus 2 divided by 2. So 8x divided by 2 is 4x. Negative 2 divided by 2 is minus 1. So now we have two equations. We have y equals 2x plus 3. And here's our first equation. Here's our second equation, just like that. Y equals 4x minus 1. So our second step, we need to set mx plus b equal to mx plus b. So I'm going to take 2x plus 3. I'm going to set it equal to 4x minus 1. And all I did there was I took mx plus b, set it equal to mx plus b, because remember, y equals y. So if this y equals this, I can just substitute. And if this y equals this, I can just substitute. Now, we solve for x. Variables on both sides. We want to get all the variables to one side, all the non-variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x. Just like that. I could have moved the 4x. That's totally fine. But I decided to go a little bit smaller. I subtracted 2x. We're going to drop the 3 down. 3 equals 4x minus 2x is 2x minus 1. Now we get all the terms without the variable to the other side. So I'm going to add 1 here. Whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. 3 plus 1 is 4 equals 2x. To get x by itself, we divide by 2, just like that. X equals 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, we're going to take this value right here, and we're going to plug it into one of our original equations. So I can either plug it into this one or this one. This one looks a little bit more friendly, so I'm going to go ahead and use equation 2. This first, we called it equation 1, but this one right here. So I'm going to say y equals 2x plus 3. Now I'm going to plug this value in for x. I'm going to say y equals 2, in parentheses, times 2 plus 3, just like that. Now we simplify. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 gives us 7. Now, I can write my answers in ordered pair. 2, comma, 7. Remember, x always comes first, y always comes second. But just to make sure, let's go ahead and plug into our original equation. So y equals 2x plus 3. And the original equation, I don't want to do this one, just in case I didn't solve for y correctly. So I'm going to do this one. Negative 8x plus 2y equals negative 2. So I'm going to plug in my x and my y. So 7 equals 2 times 2 plus 3. And let's just do this one first. So 7 equals 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. 7 equals 7. You know it's true if you got the same number on both sides of the equal sign. We are good to go with that one. Let's try this one. Negative 8, I'm going to plug in 2. Plus 2, I'm going to plug in 7 for y equals negative 2. So negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. Plus 2 times 7 is going to give us 14 equals negative 2. Well, if I do negative 16 plus 14, well, that's negative 2. Oh my heavens, Sir Murgatroyd. Look at that. We got a correct answer. Our correct answer is going to be 2, 7. Again, that's just a quick review video of solving systems by substitution. Rewind if you need to.